Right, shall we just do that? Let's go. Um, yeah, we just want to start. If other people join, they can see it at any point. As always, we will share this deck afterwards and the video as well. So if you in case you've missed it, you can look back. But a couple of topics for today: demand growth, marketing. We want to start right now with introducing a new team member, Joel. So he joined and he will share a bit more later. What we will talk a bit about different functionalities that need improvement, feedback that we've received from you, DriveMate 2.0 update, including pricing 2.0. We want to remind you that the Just Mates plans that some of you are on will be ending. So we need to take some actions. Support update, host compensation schedule, um, process for late returns and thefts, and any other business. And obviously, we end with the roadmap. Maybe before we start, Joel, can you briefly introduce yourself? And you just started 2 weeks ago or so.
Yeah. So my name's Joel. Um, I'm really into marketing and business. I started my own business 4 years ago and grew that. So I'm also a host. So I've been a host for maybe 2 or 3 years. Started on Car Next Door through to Uber Car Share and now DriveMate. So bringing that kind of understanding, I suppose, into this job. And yeah, I'm going to be focusing on marketing. So yeah, happy to answer any questions around that today.
Thanks, Joel. All right, so let's dive straight into it. Ben, maybe you can take this one on marketing, what we have seen so far and what we're doing.
Thanks, Dirk-Jan. I'm just going to add a little bit more on Joel. Joel's very much sort of yin to my yang. He's very deep digital, and in the short time he's been with us, he's gone deep into our metrics. He's looking at our SEO. He's looking at our Google Analytics, all of the things that I was looking at. But Joel's going probably two levels deeper. He's really looking behind the matrix. So whereas I'm a little bit more creative and probably less of a details guy. Joel is the perfect complement to that. He is really into the depth of the detail. He's looking at every single touch point. He's looking at every single landing page. He's looking at every single metric to ensure that our marketing spend is working as hard as possible for each of you. So I'm super excited to have him on board, and I think I hope that he and I will make a great team to help keep driving demand for you. Demand is still growing. I really hope that I'm that's not news to most of you. I hope you are seeing bookings and inquiries growing. I certainly am. If anyone's cars are sitting without any bookings, and I am not passing the buck back to you. But if you are not getting any bookings, I would urge you to have a look at your listing, your pricing, your photos. Just give yourself a little bit of an audit. And if you're just stumped as to why you're not getting any bookings, send me your profile and ask me or Joel to have a look. And I've been doing this for a couple of hosts. We haven't probably got time to do it for everybody, but if you're really suffering, send me your profile link. We'll have a look at your listings. We'll suggest some easy wins. And what I'll do from those sort of one-on-one doctor sessions is I'll pull together a little bit of a blog post. I think I did a marketing 101, host marketing 101, which is to give you guys some of the tools. We've taken a step further forward with that, with your enhanced sort of QR codes and your printables portal. But there's a ton of other stuff that you can be doing as well. So I might do a marketing 102 blog in the next week or so, before things get a bit crazy with DriveMate 2.0, which is just so you guys know. We wanted a nice catchy name for our big step forward in the first week of December. We've been calling it UCS style pricing. Actually, that's very limiting. It's much more than just pricing, and it's much more than just taking on board some aspects of UCS. So when we talk about DriveMate 2.0, that's what we mean. And I know Dirk Jan's going to talk about that more in a sec. So look, yeah, trips are growing, trip days are growing, trip demand is growing. Joel and I just got off a call with our SEO agency. They're moving forward. They've challenged us to make some on-site modifications to help them keep moving. Those will all be done. We're constantly refining the app and the website, as you know. Not obviously when you guys report, and please keep them coming. Whether we see every message, you don't need to tag at Gaurav, at Ben, at Joel, at Dirk Jan, at admins. We see everything. We might not reply, but everything gets noted. And so as soon as we see that an issue isn't specific to one host, straight away that gets flagged to the product team. So we're working on specific bug fixes, but also we're working on things that we know need to be better. So just as one example, we're working on a more intuitive site structure for the website. I just got sent a draft URL of that to check. So there's lots of things that we talk about in these sessions, but there's stuff that is perhaps a little bit more subtle, but it all adds up to make a more compelling business case for DriveMate as hosts, and hopefully a more compelling offer for guests. Our creative is, I think, moving forwards nicely. I think if you look at, these are just a couple of current meta ads. I think if you look at where these have evolved to over the past couple of months, I feel like they've stepped forward. We've got a whole series that's kind of social style, like that left-hand execution. You can see it's got that kind of Instagram look and feel, although it's not actually an Instagram post. Then we've got that middle one is that kind of we're testing. We're always A/B testing different headlines on what converts. And then that third one you can't see here. That's actually an animation. So that map animates really nicely. It kind of zooms in, and then it zooms out. So we're constantly testing different ad formats. We have got a set of cars out right now with content creators. So they're going to be filming their experiences, and so there'll be a whole new UGC series of executions that you'll see probably in a couple of weeks. Those of you who are signed up as guests would have seen an EDM today around school holidays. So our EDM, we've got a content calendar from now through till about the 15th of December. So it's more than weekly. I think we've got 6 EDMs booked in. They're going to run every 5 or 6 days. So we don't want to saturate people, but we also know that this is the key selling period. So there's an EDM schedule, and those EDMs, look, they can always be better. We will probably apply more design to the next one, but they have started being much more action oriented. Anyone that's seen today's EDM, it's geo targeted. It shows cars in guest city, in guest state. And it's very action oriented. I think our past EDMs have been a little bit too chatty. Oh, here's an exciting DriveMate milestone. Here's this, here's that. These ones are, here's some cool cars, get in and book them. So today's was about family. The next one will be about transport. Then there'll be DriveMate, a news flash to announce DriveMate 2.0. And then there'll be one about, I think, adventure, escape, trade. So by the time those 6 EDMs have gone out, we will have talked about the 5 different categories of cars we've got and the DriveMate 2.0 news, all of which are designed to get you the maximum possible number of bookings over the summer period. Phew, that's it from me, unless Joe wanted to add anything to that. I think it's probably enough on marketing. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, and if there are any questions, obviously, right, just share and we will address them after this session. So we do the session, the content that we have prepared, and then we just have hopefully enough time to answer any other questions. Now, just a few things that you've given us feedback and what we've seen overall. A lot around 3 big topics. that are important to many of you and guests, obviously, right? So that is number one, the trip extension fixes. It says it's ready tomorrow. So all these things that you see here right now, ready tomorrow. Trip extension fixes, lockbox code generation. There were some issues there. Also, that is right now being done, tested, and will go live tomorrow as well. Autoplug locking after a trip and giving hosts access to lock and trip. We've worked on that. It is close to being ready. This will be ready by the end of November for sure. Hopefully a little bit earlier, but that's what you will see, and we'll communicate when that's done.
Yeah, just one point I wanted to add there on the logbox code, Ken, is that Barry had reported some challenges, and we found some edge cases definitely on some impacting some hosts big time. That is the one. So it is not a generic issue impacting everyone, but it is impacting certain hosts. That is something that is being identified and is being fixed. So please keep flagging. I also wanted to say one more thing, since we are on functionality needing improvement, what is not captured here and what is being done, apologies for missing that, is the GPS data accuracy. And I do see a couple of points being raised on GPS data. We are aware of this, and that is something which is also being fixed by the end of this month, wherein a big release is going out with the pricing system, the DriveMe 2.0 system, wherein the bulk of the GPS issues should get resolved. So we acknowledge that as well.
Yeah. So indeed, if there's any other points, just keep them coming, and then we can work on them and fix them. DriveMe 2.0, we're on track for early December, as we said earlier. We're going to do a couple of things, and it's bigger things that we said that we would do, and that is one of them is the pricing part, and we'll share it on the next slide. Monthly payouts with tax compliant statements for hosts and guests. Tighten security and verification, and we did share that we do have a pretty tight verification process, but as said, we also hired a couple of people from Uber and looked again at how is our verification process. Are there certain things that we can learn from Uber and things that we cannot learn? We don't do obviously, right? We want to get the best of both worlds. So what we said is, let's review, see what we can improve. We're going to tighten certain things as well, even further. So that's what we're going to do. New pickup and drop-off process. That's another big change that we're doing.
So I just wanted to add one more thing. Sorry, again, since we're talking about the new pickup drop-off process, it is not. There's a lot of feedback around pickup drop-off, wherein host said, and you guys specifically mentioned that your guests need to upload more exterior pictures, giving them flash support so that they can take pictures in the night, and much secure mechanism for people to upload to pick up the car. So we will introduce identity verification at the time of pickup, when people have to identify themselves through an automated. So it will be more secure, wherein they'll have to take a selfie, and the system will match their selfie to the photo that we have. It will also require guests to be within 250 meters of the car to be able to start the pickup of the car. So that's to prevent remote pickups, right? One thing that we will request all hosts is to, if guests come to them and request for offline unlocking the car, or providing lockbox code without the pickup process, please don't do that from early December. Do not provide access to the car without them having completed pickup process, because if you do that, then we will not be able to charge them for distance, right? Because if they don't complete the pickup and drop off process. So please ensure that happens, and we are able to make sure that we charge the guests correctly.
Yeah, and that is indeed also based on what Gaurav said at the last part. Is it's all very much linked to what we do in support, because we understand, and we have also acknowledged that is with growth of number of trips, we've seen more hosts on the platform and more trips. So that means utilization goes up. But what we see with that as well is that we get more tickets, and we did hire more people in the team to do that. We trained people, but it was not enough, right? So what we basically saw is that we had a backlog. We're clearing that, and so that's getting much better than what it was maybe 2 weeks ago. However, it is not a sustainable thing to constantly say, okay, we get more tickets, we just hire more people and do the same stuff. We're also looking at what can we do more to just get better structurally as well. And one of them obviously is getting less conversations, right? And less tickets. And how do we do that? One of the reasons, or one of the things that we do is that pick up and drop off process. If we follow that, then certain things are automated, and that means if it's automated, we can automatically see basically how much we need to charge. We can automatically charge, and that means no people are involved there. That is a great thing also for the team to handle cases quicker. Second thing, of course, linked to that as well is the whole new pricing system in general. That means from a fuel point of view, people don't have to refill. It's the same as what it was with Uber. You do get less tickets for that. Of course, there will be some extra tickets as well for people that did fill up the tank and claim with their receipts. That will happen, but overall that will be less. There are also many other things that we do to automate on other disputes that we have, the common disputes that come in. How can we automate them? We're constantly working on that, and that comes with our next version basically of ticketing system and handling those resolutions as well. So the ticketing system, we've heard also quite a number of complaints like, hey, people don't know what the ticket number is and it's lost. And I send in a confirmation, I started a conversation and we don't know what's happening. People need to look back at everything that has happened with me and my cases. We are adopting a better ticketing system here as well. We roll that out. It's a technical change, and it also means a change for us in the system, but also for the people to train them. So this is something that for us goes live next week, actually on the 26th. So we're going to bring in a new ticketing system. What does that mean for you is conversations that come in. If it cannot be resolved straight away, then a ticket will be created for anything. And then the right team will help and work on that. Makes also visibility much better, control much better. And yeah, these couple of things combined will certainly help us to provide much better support. I do think and I do hope that people also see that things have improved in the last few weeks, and we know we've seen quite a number of complaints, which we also very much understand, but we have certainly made improvements, and that means we see that we are less behind than where we were, and that is going in the right direction. This will bring it to the next level.
So Doken, on this slide, I think there are a couple of questions, and I just want to take them so that it's in the right context. On the new pickup drop-off process, what will also happen is that no longer will hosts have to approve any pickup or drop-off requests. That whole system of approving pickup and drop-off requests will go out of the window, irrespective of the plan you are on. Because that was one request that hosts had, that why do I need to approve a pickup and drop-off request? And that is going out of the window for every type of trip. That's number one. Number two, I think Michael has asked a very pertinent question as how do I know if they've completed a pickup and drop-off process? You don't have to know it. That's not your problem. The point I was trying to make is that if you have remote access, let's say you have a lockbox car or you have an auto plug car, sometimes what ends up happening is guests call you and say, hey, I'm at the location and I cannot open the car, please open the car for me. Now, in that case, once this new process goes live, you have to tell them that the access will be provided automatically by the system. You should not provide them a lockbox code or an auto plug access directly outside of the process, because then what would mean is that they have not taken pictures of the car at pickup, and that can lead to disputes in the future, which we don't want. So you don't have to check anything. The point I was trying to make is that if they call you offline to give you access, once this new pickup drop-off goes live, don't do that, right? The second point, Michael, that you've asked, which is If they fill the car, let them claim via the receipt. Absolutely, and that's the way it will be. They will have the option of uploading a fuel receipt at the end of the trip. And once they do that, we will verify that receipt and of course charge the host and refund back the guest, just like it happened with UCS. Same, no difference. Absolutely.
Yeah. Were that all the questions for now? Otherwise, we'll take questions later as well around these topics. So on pricing, I think one of the big things that we said that we would do is, and this is the last time, by the way, we're calling it UCS pricing, style pricing, because as said, it's a pricing 2.0. But basically what we're going to do is let's say pricing based on distance and on time. Fuel is included. You don't need to manage your excess mileage and fuel. Late returns will be handled automatically in the system. That means monthly payouts with detailed statements, including our ABN. So that's what's happening. Now, if you just look in short, or just in summary, daily and hourly rates, that's what you set as hosts. The hourly rates are kept at the daily rate within 24 hours. So basically that means if you have a daily rate of $60 per day and you have $12 per hour, after 5 hours, if people book for 6 hours, it's just $60, right? Because the max is the daily rate. There will be a kilometer charge. You can choose 35 cents, 45 cents, 55 cents. You as a host set that. It includes fuel. DriveMate fee for a host is 25 cents a daily rate and 9 cents a kilometer. If you're on BBI, it's 15%. Still, the kilometer fee remains the same. By the way, I also want to say for the fuel that is included, we have those same policies where the guest needs to return the car with at least 25%. Same as what it was with UCS. Then we have a few things on booking fees and protection fees. What we basically do is for trips less than 3 days, the booking fee is $6.99. 4 to 6 days, booking fee is $9.99. Bookings, and it's a one-off fee. Bookings 7 days and longer have a $14.99 booking fee. And the protection fee basically for insurance is 12% of the duration charge with a minimum of $9.99. And that is basically how it is. And here we just wanted to show you, and it's maybe a bit of detail, but we have looked at different use cases, right? So depending on what type of car you have, what type of trips people take, how does it compare with UCS? Of course, UCS does not exist anymore, and we also want but we do want to compare it here because you are aware of how that was, and then you can have a feeling for what does this mean for the guest? What does this mean for you as a host when you look at these prices? So, for example, two cases here, two use cases. One is on the left-hand side. If somebody rents a car for 6 hours and it's $12 per hour, then on UCS, what people see that they need to charge for the duration charge, $72, 6 times 12. Same for DriveMate. Distance charge, 45 cents if that was set, right? And if they drive 75 kilometers in this example, they both pay the same amount. It's both the same. Booking fees for UCS, it was $9.99. For us, for the short trip, it's $6.99. Then we have a basic cover for UCS, $7.20. For us, $9.99 for the cover. So that means the total price for the guest for UCS and DriveMate is the same, right? So we have the same price, but the difference is that the owner earnings are higher, let's say, are higher with us than they are with UCS. So that means it comes at our expense, right? In that sense, at DriveMate's expense. Why is that? Yeah, the biggest reason for that is you had different plans in Uber Car Share. Like you had a 40% plan, you had a 25% plan, and of course there is a certain mix of number of cars. We know what that average was, and here's where you see the difference. For us, it's 25% plan, and of course on BBI even a 15% plan. So what you basically see is price per guest same, earnings for host higher, and it means earnings for platform less, right? That is basically what we see happening. But we do need to know, and we said that earlier because we listened to your feedback on the $12 and what is that? We want you to look at it holistically. Right? What does the guest pay in the end? and what do you earn? And that's what we try to do, and we want to make this a sustainable platform for all three parties. So that is one use case. Second use case, let's say if you have a 3-day trip with an SUV or a car that is $65, or let's say priced at $65 a day. If you rent it for 3 days, again, UCS and DriveMate, same price, both $195. Distance charge, if somebody drives 200 kilometers, 45 cents is $90. Booking fee for a 3-day trip, $9.99 UCS, $6.99 for DriveMate. Basic cover for UCS 19.5, for $39.97. So that means the total price for the guest is a bit higher with DriveMate, but then here we're talking about 2 or 3% higher. Owner earnings on DriveMate are again higher. So basically, similar situation as with the 6-hour trip, and we can do that with all the different use cases. If you're interested, we can have a look at that for your own use case. But generally, what you can see is that prices for guests, the end price that they really pay, is very similar. Host earnings are a bit higher. That's basically how it looks like. Are there any questions here for now, or we take that later? Okay, so also one thing, a reminder on the Justmates plan. We said we have most people are already on GoodMates or on BestMates, and GoodMates is with the primary GPS, and it could be without a lockbox, depending on where you are. And the other thing is, if you want keyless technology, and then we have the BestMates plan for you. We also have Justmates. So also some people are still on Justmates plan, but that's going to discontinue, right? And that's going to discontinue by the end of this month. And the reason for it is we want people to move to at least having our tracker, because then we can charge automatically, right? That is a key thing. And obviously, besides that, a safety part on knowing where the car is at any time, that is also extremely important. But that is what we need to do. So if you are still on Justmates, just go to your listing and change it to either GoodMates or BestMates, whatever you'd like to do, and then we can automatically charge guests and pay you out also automatically. And that's basically what we want to do. And of course, it's then also trackable. Yeah, so that's basically what it is. One important thing, and we did say this 2 weeks ago as well, renting out, and if you don't have a working GPS, it's not covered for theft. Damage, sure, that is insured, but if you don't have a GPS, there is nothing we can do there. So for DriveMate 2.0, as mentioned, we need to be able to track every car. We want to charge guests automatically for fuel and distance. 30 November, Justmates will end, and that means if you don't move it to GoodMates or BestMates, we'll take you offline, right? And yeah, we hope that you just take action as quickly as you can. If you have requested a GPS from us and you've not yet received it, then please let us know. Then we can see what we can do there.
Taking cars offline is the absolute last thing that we want to be doing, but it's as much for your protection as ours.
Yes.
Can I just add to that? We are reaching out to every host and calling them that is on Justmates as well. So if you do get a call from us, it'd be great for you to have a chat with the guys so they can assist with switching you on the spot to make the process quicker and get that tracker out to you.
Jake, just can you just tell the hosts when DriveMate calls, what number will show up? Like what will the incoming number look like for hosts who might not have ever been called by DriveMate?
Comes from a 03 number for Melbourne based.
Yeah, got it. If you see a 03 number, please pick up the phone. Quite a few of the messages seen on Facebook, oh, no one's got back to me. And then I speak to the agent, they go, oh, we called and they didn't answer, or we left a voicemail. So if you see a 03 number, that is DriveMate. Please pick it up, particularly if you have an outstanding case, and particularly if it's a serious case like a late return. The more calls you pick up, the quicker we can get your disputes sorted.
Yeah, and now for this one also important to see how we can move to good mates or best mates. There was a question that we saw as well about, hey, is there any clarity on, or can we provide clarity on fees and compensations and so on? We do have a Help Center article for that. So maybe one thing that we can do, Ben, is to share that article link as well with the people here later, or maybe after the call. But just
Sure.
maybe to summarize what we have is we have host compensation for transferring an infringement, $30. If a car is returned dirty, yeah, then we look at how dirty, and then depending on that, we pay you at $48 to $144. If a car is incorrectly parked, there's an inconvenience fee. Wrong fuel used, this is what you see. There's a service fee and repair costs, obviously, right? The thing that you need to do is, if you do have an issue on any of these things, actually on any dispute, just email us on DriveMate. As said, from next week, those things will be automatically, a ticket will be created. You'll receive an email with the ticket number. You need to share the email with proof, and then we take that on. So for compensation, if something happens, let's say, and your car is out of action, then there is a $25 per day compensation, max 14 days. It's also, we had that. It's also similar to what UCS had, and that's only for the cars only for the days that the car is undrivable, right? And or at the mechanics or panel beaters. So when there is a small scratch and you can just drive the car, then that doesn't apply. But of course, if the car cannot be driven, then we'll pay.
What about the other end of the spectrum from a small scratch? What if a car is written off?
Yeah, so when the car is written off, then until the time that, let's say, the decision is made and shared with you that this is the amount we pay, that time, again, that is kept with those 14 days, we'll pay for loss of use. And yeah, then if let's say that amount is taken, then that's let's say for the write-off, then that's what it is. Now here are, and this is also an article that we will share the link with you as well on what is the process for late returns. We do see that some people have late returns, and there are questions like, what should we do? Should we call DriveMate? Should we call them 10 times? See where it is, and what can we do? We just want to share what we do and what is also expected from hosts, right? So first, what we do and how our process is. So we have our own dashboards. Our team have a dashboard. Our teams have a dashboard. I mean, when there are late return cases, let's say if it's 15 minutes after the scheduled drop-off time, and the guest has not yet completed the return steps, and the car is not in the home location, then that trip with the trip ID and the guest name and the host name and the regio number and the phone numbers, that will pop up on our dashboard. And from that moment, our team will investigate what's happening. If the car is really late, or maybe they just didn't drop it off in the system, but it actually was returned. And yeah, then they just need to determine whether it's real or it's not, if it's fake, right? If it's actually, it was returned, but just not done in the system. If it is really late, yeah, then of course we contact the guest, see why he's late, if he wants to return or if he wants to extend, help him with the extension, and that's basically what we try to do. And then we will communicate with the host what's going on, keep you informed, and especially if there is another trip that is upcoming, right? That's what we'll do. If something is upcoming and we have a feeling that there is a high chance that the car is not returned on time, yeah, then we need to help the guest find the car, the next guest to find the car as well. And of course, the current guest then needs to be charged, and you will be paid out. If, let's say, it is and actually this depends on whether everything's fine, if the GPS is still working, all those kind of things are working, then within 24 hours, we'll share it with the security team, and they will assist and see what needs to be done. So if it comes to security, they will check with our ground ops or repossession agent to repossess the car. That's what we're trying to do, and of course they look at different variables and different things that to see what is required there. If GPS is no longer updating, then we need to report, and then we will report the case to police. Then, depending on the state, but if it's after 28 days and the car is still not recovered, then our team, the security team, will raise it to the claims team, and that is stolen and it may be deemed a total loss. That means the claims team will work, let's say, on your case to handle all the things that are happening that has happened to the trip, whether that is the repairs, the liability, whatever the settlements are. That's what the claims team will do. If the car is returned, though, then they will just check basically if all the other things with the car is fine, if there's any damage, or if it's returned clean or so ever, to just get it returned to you. Now, for thefts, basically, if you are not on BBI, obviously we cover everything during trips, right? Theft during trip. But if it is in between trips and the car is stolen, then you need to report it to us. And of course, if you're on BBI, report it to us. Then we can see what happened, and then we try to work with the insurance company to do what is required. If it happened during the trip, then the guest needs to, and it's not the guest, so somebody else stole the car during a trip, then the guest needs to file a police report. If they're not able to do so, then we'll also ask you as a host to do so. We check the police report and we see what we need to do. We create a ticket and some notes of a conversation with the host and guest, and then it will move to the security team. And the security team, it's actually the same security team as what Uber also used to have, and the same people are heading that as well for us. So security team reviews and reports GPS, the guest profile, will help recover the vehicle, again, with ground ops or a repossession agent. If the GPS is not updating anymore, it will be reported to police. Same, 28 days, car not recovered. It will be raised to the claims team, and they will manage that together with you. Now, what is needed from a host point of view? So a host needs to file a police report. If you as a host find out that the vehicle or the vehicle keys they have been stolen, or if the GPS is no longer working during a security case. So if you know about it, then please let us know, right? And file a police report. When you as a host report theft to the police, you need to declare us as a secondary victim, because only then we can assist you with the details if the police needs to recover the vehicle. That is one thing to do. And the second thing is you need to say to that the car is borrowed through a car sharing platform. So it's not rented out. Commercial case, they will, and it depends sometimes on the police officer, but then they will more likely help you. So that is also a thing to mention. And one thing to note is if during a later turn the case is already with security team, they also might be asked to report the vehicle as stolen after a certain period of time. In case that the repossessions agent's police report won't be accepted. So that is basically what we do. We have this article also online. We'll share that link also after the call. If there are any questions, just let us know. We know this is a case where some people keep following up with us. Please note that what we do, we have a process with the initial team that's looking for late returns, and from the dashboard goes to security team. They investigate, they liaise with police, in the bad case that it cannot be recovered, we will try to repossess. But if it's stolen, then the claims team will work on the handling of it. Yeah, that's that. I don't know if there's any questions, any questions there. Yeah, I think for now the things that we have said, we are only 45 days that we're live with 45 days that we're live, let's say, with the hardware that's working on our platform right now. With the things that we said on the BBI fleet that is live, quite a number of cars are there already. And right now, what we've said that for November, it's all about making sure that DriveMate 2.0 goes live, including the new pricing and the things that we just mentioned. So that's what we're doing. If you look at listing management, we said we have some improvements on listing edits, calendar management, having multiple cars, Redbook integration. We're working on all these things behind the scenes, but the main thing again is to make sure that in the first week of December we're ready with the launch of DriveMate 2.0. Yeah, that's all I wanted to share. I don't know, Gaurav, if you wanted to add anything here on the roadmap.
I think this is what it is, guys. At the risk of a repetition, we know there are many questions, so we're going to take them long. But at the risk of repetition, big thing, DriveMate 2.0 with the pricing and the monthly payouts. What we will also come back to you in the next couple of days that how the transition will work, right? And there will be a detailed article on the help center around the transitions. So for example, how will the transition work on the pricing system, pricing 2.0 and payout 2.0? So let's say in pricing, whenever the pricing system goes live, all trips booked after that goes live will operate on the new model. All trips before that will operate on the previous model, and of course it will thin out as we go along, right? When it comes to monthly payouts, we will give you a cutoff date, and most likely that would be, we are trying to make sure that that date is 1st of December, which means that all trips which are completed by 1st of December will get paid out along with the trip. Any trips that get completed in the month of December, then at the end of the month, which is December, you get paid out in one go, right? So we'll have that cutoff date, and that cutoff date, that's the goal right now, to have that cutoff date is 1st of December, and we are on track for that, to make sure that all trips that finish in December, you get paid out monthly, and you get visibility via the monthly payout, monthly statement, very detailed at a trip level, all damage payouts or toll payouts or fuel payouts, everything all in that one place, right? So that is the goal to give you. And yeah, so over the next few days, you will see a lot more comms and articles around that from the team. Okay, then let's jump to the questions. Let's maybe start from the top. So Theo's question is, will the host have access to live GPS location of the car outside of bookings? Absolutely. And I wonder why you don't have that today. And if you don't have that today, if you have a primary GPS or an auto plug, and if you don't have access to the location outside of the trip, I am surprised. So Theo, if I can request you to drop an email on, I will just send you an email, so tell you, if you can just drop me an email right now with your car, and then we can have a look at that, because outside of DriveMate trips, you should by default have access to the location if you're on primary GPS or on auto plugs, right? So that's that. So Peter has asked this question. I just had a trip booking where the guest did not upload any end of the trip pictures. This has happened before and is a problem when the car is parked over 30 minutes away. How can this be prevented? Yes. So currently, if the guests don't end the trip with the new process, our team will end the trip on their behalf. Of course, then we don't have the pictures, and that is always a challenge. So we are trying to enforce that by ensuring that we have the right set of guests, their identity is verified, etc., etc. But if guests do this behavior of not uploading pictures at the end of the trip, we will prevent them from booking again. That is what we want to do, because we want good guests who have good behavior, who follow the process and are not trying to fleece the system. So we will ban people over time if they don't follow the process, ban the guests, right? Because then it can lead to disputes. I think Peter had a question of can't follow your calculation of earnings in the example for van as I have owners. So maybe Turkan, this is the one you need to take on the can't follow your calculation of earnings in the example for van as I have owners earnings on UCS at
Okay. So which maybe can we give him the microphone so he can just then we can just go through it.
Just one correction there. Peter said UCS didn't take a percentage on the mileage. I'm pretty sure UCS took 8 cents
Certainly.
Yeah, 8
per,
cents.
per kilometer. So not a percentage, but a set 8 cents per kilometer. Whatever you set your per cents per kilometer rate at, UCS used to take 8% of that.
I've just allowed Peter in. So Peter, maybe you can just talk to us about what you were saying, so it's easier to clarify. You have to unmute yourself, Peter. You're on mute. Okay, we don't hear from Peter. And till the time Peter comes back, Faisal is asking how much is the backlog for AutoPlug installation? Selected the best mates in September. We still don't have an installation date. Faisal, if I can request you again to just let us know on the okay, let us ask our operations team to get in touch with you with a firm timeline on the AutoPlug installation.
But maybe one thing good is if you can share maybe in the chat, if you could share your email ID, then we can see. I think everybody and maybe Jake, you can see it here as well, right? I think we have a dashboard on people that we've sent emails to and that we've scheduled. Some people we've not scheduled, and that could be for a variety of reasons. But one of them is that the car is not eligible, and I don't know what car or cars you have there.
Every vehicle that's not eligible has been or incompatible has been contacted. So that's complete already.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it means that they're still in scheduling, and someone will reach out. Sort of a week or two before the schedule is set. And I'm happy to put my email in, and we can have a quick look at where they are in the list, because we obviously have a long schedule there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think we have
but things are really moving already on AutoPlug, because we're installing quite a number of cars every week in the last couple of weeks. So we see that it's already happening. Yeah, just share your idea and we can have a look.
Peter, can you hear us? Do you want to talk through your calculation? Unfortunately, no. So, all right. Are there any other questions?
But Gaurav, did Peter say what did he write down what the problem is, or why he thinks there is an issue, or
yeah, I'm unable to follow that. So maybe we just need to take that separately.
Yeah, let's take that offline. It's a question about how we calculated the examples, but let's take that offline.
Yeah.
Here's a good question from JP. UCS used to let us know when the batteries were going flat. Does our tech do the same?
Yes. So that's a great point you make. We are going to implement that. So whether the battery is going flat on your GPS or your when the batteries are when, let's say, battery on your GPS or your battery on your car, for that matter, because a primary GPS and an AutoPlug can measure the battery voltage on your car as well. We are going to do that as well. Yeah.
It's a good question. It's a slightly unusual case, but will there be the option to open lock boxes while the car is on rental? I needed to move the lockbox as I needed to paint the gate.
That is that is an unusual request. And in that case, what I would request you to do is to reach out to support to be
Yeah.
able to open your lockbox. That is definitely a possibility for them to do.
Yeah, cool.
I think Michael has a question on the battery. So will it tell me when the battery is under an unusual load? Helps me with lights left. That is a good question, Michael. Let us figure out technically if we do get that data. Because what I know is we get data on low battery, but measuring the load on the battery it slightly becomes technical. So allow us to investigate that. If we can preempt the battery going off by measuring the load on the battery. I get it. I see your point, Michael. Leave that with us. We'll come back to you. Yeah.
Question on DriveMate Go 3.0. Where are we up to with that?
Yeah, we unfortunately are still seeing some challenges. So we have sent them over to Singapore for testing, but it's not really going exactly as per the original planning. So yeah, we need to see. But I just want to emphasize here that AutoPlug or DriveMate Go in principle do this. They do the same thing. So it's both for the best mates planners for keyless access. We have sufficient number of AutoPlugs. So that means if you're interested in the best mates plan, and that means with keyless access, we can provide that, and that's basically what we do. So there's in that sense, let's say from a use case point of view, no big difference between AutoPlug and DriveMate Go. And so when we know about the actual DriveMate Go devices, which is our device that we've developed ourselves in that sense, which is doing the same as AutoPlug, then we'll let you know. But for you as a car owner, it both does the same thing.
Yeah. The other question I see also is from Liana Miller, is about staff being able to swap bookings, adjusting dates for borrowers, and facilitating communications. This is something definitely we want, Liana, but at this point, our system doesn't allow that for the staff to change, for the staff to swap bookings. That is something that we will work on, but are we working on that today? No. Will we work on it in the next, after we have launched the new pricing system, the DriveMate 2.0? Absolutely, yes. So that is on our product development radar, but that's not going live on 1st of December, just to get expectations right. But we will include it. We already have this as part of the product roadmap. It has also been requested before. Hope that answers your question, Liana.
There's a good question here from Dai. Are maximum periods of hire being developed? For example, I would like a maximum of 1 overnight for one vehicle and no overnight at all for the other vehicle.
So are you suggesting that you want a control on minimum or maximum booking duration both? Because some people also want, let's say, minimum durations, and some people, and you are saying you don't want to rent out this car more than a day kind of a thing, which is what I understand. It's a good point. We don't have that today. Neither do we have in the roadmap. So I will take that point in right now as we speak, and we will come back when we can implement it. But it's a good point.
Yeah, I think yeah, some hosts will want a minimum. They might want to specify a couple of days. Personally, I quite like 2-day bookings or more, and we totally understand why some hosts might only want shorter rentals. So I think that's a very good one for us to put in the bag of good ideas that we would love to implement. So thanks, Dai.
Yeah, the only thing is I'm wondering with maximum days. I'm also very curious what the use case is, and there is a workaround as well. I mean, you can if somebody has booked a car, you can block your calendar as well for a certain time if you want the car to be returned before the time. Besides that, I don't really know. yeah, what the use case would be. So I'm very curious. So then we can see what we can do there.
Yep. The other question, oh yeah, I think the other question that being answered is accounts not getting verified at all. What are the criterias? So I'm assuming you're asking about guest accounts not getting verified, Johannes. And of course, what I can tell you already is 99% of the applications get processed within 60 minutes. We track this very, very firmly with our team on new guest applications. So if the account is not getting verified, that means there's a problem with the account, right? There is a multitude of factors which are used for assessing veracity of the guest application, which is authenticity of the license, whether the face matches the license. All of this is automated by the system. It is not dependent on human judgment. Whether the document is fake or not. And yeah, then there are some financial risk scores. This is the credit card they use. So there are multitude of factors, and if the team is not approving them, means there's something wrong with the application, and we do not want such applications to go through. However, the system can make mistakes. So if you feel that for certain guests, they are trusted guests and our system has flagged them, please let us know so that we can reassess what is happening. There are things where system does go wrong, possible, and we'd love to hear from you on that. Yep. Okay. On toll reimbursements for September and October, they should have been paid by now. If they have not been paid, please let us know on a support channel. But what we know is that all September and October toll statements have been paid as per our understanding. If you have not been paid, please let us know. So the other question that James has asked, yes, the answer is, will we be getting statements for September to November? Yes. So let me answer your question in two parts, James. Starting December, you will get your monthly statements as you used to get with UCS, right? With explaining what is the GST component on the charges, on the commission that DriveMate has charged you. It will mention that very clearly. That's number one. Now, you would also need that retrospectively, as what I understand, for trips which have been done before this monthly payout system happened. We are going to put it together and we are going to do it en masse for all hosts in one go in December. All statements retrospectively from the time you have been on the platform, right? And last but not the least, end of the year summary tax statement. Yes. So by, let's say, end of June, when the tax time is due for your returns, we will ensure that in July you have your annual tax statement from DriveMate explaining all your earnings, etc., etc. We know the format that will be sent to you. Hope that answers the question, James.
Liana was just asking for a little bit of clarification on what support 2.0 would look like. Will all the support emails evolve into a single ticket system?
Yes, absolutely. So we are what we have realized on support is it's not just about. So there are a couple of areas, and Dirk can explain, but let me summarize this structurally also. One is training of the team, because a lot is changing. So we have invested a lot right now, and as we speak, invested a lot in training the team, right? Because a lot of changes happen. So training the team, bringing them up to speed. Second is that what we realized is visibility of the issue to people, right? And that can only be achieved through tickets. And that is why all your issues that you report will get converted into tickets. Any issue which needs more than 30 minutes to resolve will get converted into tickets. If, let's say, you come to us on a chat and then you say, hey, XYZ is not happening, and our agent is able to fix it there and then, it will not convert into a ticket. You don't need a ticket for that because it got solved straight away. However, if something requires more than 30 minutes, it will automatically get converted into a ticket, and you will have live visibility of that ticket on your app as to what is happening, when it got picked up, what stage it is in, and all of that. So that we believe also will help solve a lot of problems and a lot of save you a lot of chasing to do.
Yeah, and another thing, and I think that is how our current system works, is we when there was a dispute and there was also damage involved, then we created one ticket for all these different things together. It could be for cleanliness of the car and damage and maybe late return. It could be 3 different things, and it's on one ticket. Now, how it's going to be is your damage case, and then what it sometimes meant is you could not close the entire ticket. We could not close the entire ticket if not all the things were done. So damage cases sometimes takes more time to investigate. You have more different parties involved. And that also delayed the other ticket, which is probably an easy ticket, like a fuel ticket, right? So what we are doing right now is we separate those things as well. And it means everything that is related to claims, damages, goes to the claims team. And that means that it's a claims ticket. That's it. And that claims ticket will have a different ticket number than maybe for the same trip as maybe the claims for that same trip for or a dispute for fuel or anything else, right? So what we're doing is we're also separating those tickets. You get 2 tickets, one for non-damage, one for damage, if there is damage. And that means we can also resolve the other things quicker.
Yep. There's one question from Steph, and I think she was trying to ask on the new drop-off process. Can it please include internal photos of the key put back in the glove box and their driver's license? Now, let me answer the last part first on the driver's license. What do we want at the end of the day? What we want is we want to have the right person getting into the car. That's what we want, right? Now, for remote handovers, if you were to ask people a picture of their license and then possibly check it 5 days later, then if it's the wrong person, the damage is already done, right? They've taken the car away. So what the system that we are introducing right now is right there and then verification of the person. Now, and I know somebody else also asked that question, are we reinventing the wheel? And I wanted to answer that question also, but let me first answer your, Steph, is that identity verification at the time of pickup will sort that, right? So we don't need a picture of the license. We just need to confirm that the person who's picking the car is the person who booked the car, and that's the person we have the license for. Secondly, coming to pictures, we are pushing people to put in a lot of exterior pictures. Interiors, at the time of pickup, it's optional. They just have to mention cleanliness. At the point of drop off, we'll ask them to put in interior pictures, yes. But what we're not asking them very mandatorily is photos of the key put back in the glove box. That's not something that we are doing. If you think if a lot of hosts think that is mandatory, that should happen, we can consider adding it. But please also understand that we want to make the process not very difficult for guests also. We want to keep a good balance between being easy to rent on the platform versus asking too many things. So I hope that has answered your question. If you have more of this, if you very strongly feel about having pictures of the lock of the key in the glove compartment, let us know, and we'll definitely look into this. But that's not the version going live on 1st of December, just to set expectations correctly.
This is a good question from Peter. So the 8 cents that UCS charged for mileage was for insurance. As I understand it, DriveMate has already charged for insurance as part of BBI. So why is DriveMate taking 8 cents for mileage?
So just to be clear, there is also with UCS, they had that indeed, 8 cents. And they also had a basic protection fee, which was also charged. And we do that too, right? So in the end, wherever it goes, it needs to go to the platform. And I mean, the different types of fees that you can have or take will be part of the total fee that we have to run the business. from an operations point of view, from an insurance point of view, and so on and so forth. So what we do, and that's also what we try to share, is if you just look at how the prices for guests, the total price that they pay, what is the price for you as a host, what you or the earnings that you will make, then you also see how much is left for DriveMate to run its business, and that's how we look at it. So yes, they had an 8 cents per kilometer. They also had a basic protection fee, and that's how they Uber and also us in a way, we same thing is look at a total commission that we make to run the business.
Yep.
Every different trip scenario that we looked at, we only showed you 2 on the slide, but we've looked at, well, hundreds, dozens, hundreds. Every scenario we've looked at that I can remember, DriveMate was actually the platform was taking a little bit less than Uber Car Share overall. I don't see any occasions where we were more expensive than Uber Car
But
Share.
that is not per se a good thing also, because what we've said earlier as well, we have learned. So one thing is for sure, we're not greedy, right? That is one thing for sure, and we always share that. But the one thing that we've learned is that it didn't end well with Uber, right? So we also need to make sure the way to, and for us to run the business, which is expensive in Australia, which we all know, we need to make sure that it also is in right balance. Right now, we feel we have a good balance here, but we need to see how we can make this work. And the key thing for us is you look at absolutes in the end, right? So percentages all very nice, but you want to make good conversions, attract many guests that have a good experience on a platform and a good price at the platform as well. That's what we're trying to do. And with this model that we said, we are basically not reinventing the wheel. We're trying to use the best of both worlds, use the old UCS pricing model. That's right now what we're launching. You're all very much aware of how that looked like, and that's what we're doing there as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to answer one more question that somebody asked about digital licenses. Absolutely. So that's a great point, Luke. And we are updating the verification process to allow digital licenses. And if customers have digital license, they should be able to do it. So that is something that's an update coming the next couple of weeks. That's not 1st of December, but that's something that we are updating. The other question asked for Life, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, so apologize for that. On this whole Sentrylock lockbox order, I've just taken a screenshot of your case and sent to the operations team. They should be in touch with you by tomorrow and giving an update on when you can expect to receive the lockbox. So I hope that answers the question. JP has asked the question on how it will behave on search. The way it will work, JP, for now is, and we are always open to change, and I will explain how we are open to change. Your question is about when somebody puts in days, puts in search dates, they will see the car currently, and they will see the per day price, they will see the per hour price, and they will see the distance price, right? So even if you search for 8 days, it will show you $50 per day, $5 an hour, 45 cents per kilometer. That's what it will show. And that's what I believe at the start, UCS used to have that, if I'm not wrong, right? Now, that is what we will start with, JP. Yeah. Now, the way we will explore changing it is to run experiments. And that's what we do, right? We will not change it on a hunch. So we set up these experiments wherein in some experiments, in let's say one base case is people will see only per day and per hour and per kilometer charge. In another case, we'll send 50% of the users through a flow later, wherein they will see, instead of per day, per hour, kilometer charge, they'll see a total charge. And then we measure at our end, where are we getting more conversions, right? Wherever we're getting more conversions, we'll finalize that case. That's how we take all the UI and UX decisions as a platform. So we decide a base case and then we keep testing it always. So there are as we speak right now, there would be tests running in the system on the smallest of things. And that's how we operate, right? To always decide basis conversions rather than who has the loudest voice in the room, you know? So that's hope that answers your question, JP.
And if by the way, if there are certain, so we have our own ideas also, for example, when it comes to pricing, because that was the topic just now, what kind of A/B tests we need to run and what we think brings you as host most earnings and also us as a platform most revenue, right? Overall, how we can do that. So we have our ideas there, but if you feel like, hey, I've seen this or that somewhere else in another industry, or I think that this is something that's worth testing, just let us know. We're open to it. We're testing it. If it brings better conversions, and it could be anything. It could even be how we write certain things. It could even be how we show it. Just let us know, and we can see how we can incorporate that. Are there any more questions, guys, or is it did we go through most?
Last point, and so JP, great point you make on discounts, right? On showing the discount for longer duration, absolutely. That doesn't need an experiment. We are going to show that. Not on 1st of December or week 1 of December when this goes live, but very shortly on, let's say, if you are offering, let's say, 3-day or 7-day discount, we want to show that discount on the car card. That is something that's going to happen. Will we notice a change on, that's very cryptic, Liana. Will we notice a change on November 19th? I don't know what you mean by that, really. But surely what I can tell you is there's an app update coming in the next 24 to 48 hours.
I think that's what Liana was referring to, because it said in the deck that there will be some issues fixed on the 19th of November.
So we are as we speak, the team is working to release an update in the next 24 to 48 hours. And please just bear with us. If it does not happen today, it will happen day after. But yeah, next 24 to 48, sometimes we send out app updates, Apple holds it, Android releases it. So we have to release everything together. So we have to make sure that all apps are approved first, and then we push everything out. So 24 to 48 hours, you will have those updates out. Yes, absolutely. Extension updates are coming. That's the target 19th, which is tomorrow. What I'm saying is bear with us if it's not tomorrow, if it's day after, because some issues can be stopped by Apple or Google. So please bear with us. But yes, it's coming out. I think, Duncan, let's take this question also, and the rest we can answer on Facebooks and separately. How long should we expect to wait from making a claim for damage to booking repairs, and what is the process?
Yeah. So what we say obviously is for damages it's always a bit unclear because it depends very much on what type of damage, how complicated it is, if we found the car on time, and so on and so forth. But if you claim, what we strive for is 14 days for damage, but we are not meeting that target right now, because as we shared earlier, there is a backlog. We're pretty close to having it completely cleared. Then it should be 14 days. But some cases when they are more complicated, it takes a bit longer. And the same is when cars are maybe lost and we need to recover them, and police is involved. It can take longer for these cases. But generally, our target is a 14 days. I know that an average, what we see is right now around 21, 22 days. We try to get that down as much as we can.
Cool. I think let's wrap it up there, guys. I'm conscious of not cutting into everybody's evening too much.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.